Hello, I'm Michelle with two L's.
And I'm Natalie the Red.
And we are Force of Light Entertainment, and we are going to bring you today our The Suicide Squad, not to be confused with Suicide Squad.
Correct.
Movie review, of course. James Gunn's directed. I believe he wrote a good portion of the movie. The Suicide Squad that just came out in theaters and also is on HBO Max. Yes, there we go. Yeah, so this is going to include spoilers. Since this is on HBO Max, I figured we might as well just go ahead and discuss spoilers. But we're going to do this review the way we always do, and that is by giving you what we like, what we dislike, and then giving the movie our final rating. So let's get into this of what I liked about this movie, about these two. And I will say this. I was someone who actually left the first one. Like I enjoyed the movie. Like I recognized it wasn't a good movie, but I did enjoy it, and I really loved Margot Robbie's Harley Quinn in that movie.
Well, I think she was such a standout for a lot of people, and she probably is, a big part of the reason I enjoyed that movie. I'm not saying it was
Natalie, actually, you really enjoyed the first one.
I like the unpopular opinion. Well, I put it out there before, but here I am again. But yeah, no, I thought it was an enjoyable movie.
Well, it was fun. It was fun, and they had a fun soundtrack.
Was it stupid? Yeah.
Yeah. And I mean, yeah, it was not like a quote unquote good movie, but it was fun. But so going into this movie, I will say that to this point, the trailers they put out, nothing really excited me. In fact, I remember I've tweeted out multiple times that the only thing interesting me was Harley Quinn. And well, we'll just kind of move in. We'll move in now to what we liked about this movie, because there's things I like and there's things that I dislike about this movie tremendously so. So
it's a lot of so's.
What I like about this movie, I enjoyed. I thought Idris Elba, I thought he did good as Bloodsport. His character was, I mean, he's just a great actor. But then I really enjoyed his character. I enjoyed Ratcatcher, actually. I thought she brought.
She's just very kind.
Yes, kindness and kind of compassion to it. And then I did enjoy. I know people either really like Margot Robbie's Harley Quinn or they find her really annoying. I genuinely enjoy the character, and I still enjoyed the character here. In fact, Harley Quinn, for me, had my favorite scene in the entire movie. The scene where she breaks herself out of, it's not necessarily prison, but being captive.
Yeah.
And that whole scene, I loved. I loved the fighting. I loved just the way she got out of it. It was just so Harley, so chaotic but controlled, and that was a fun scene.
Oh, and was that the scene like within that you see the like the flowers, almost like what she's like?
I think you enjoyed that. I don't know if I really. I
guess
that
was cool.
I guess maybe it is in her mind. I don't know, because it didn't make sense as far as the movie.
I look into a wild mind.
But I really enjoyed that scene, and I enjoyed the entire opening scene of the Suicide Squad getting onto the beach, that first group with Nathan Fillion. And I have to admit, I cracked up when Nathan Fillion's character, his arms detach and they go and like smack the people. Like I genuinely did crack up in the theater.
She did.
Natalie. And then I liked at the end that when they defied orders from Amanda Waller and went back to save the people. And I feel like even though they're villains, I feel like in order to make us root for them, that was a good decision, in my opinion, to have them go back.
They have some good in there, which I believe, most people do.
Yeah. So I enjoyed that aspect. Natalie, what did you like about this movie? Scenes or things. Natalie actually cracked up in theaters. It was almost to an embarrassing level at one point.
There was just one point. You guys that have seen it, I hope you have if you're watching this or this far. But that Weasel man, like he got me. I got tickled, and then it's like
she was like the only one laughing.
I'm not even watching anymore. I'm just like cracking up, and I can't stop. I get a bad case of the giggles sometimes, and so the movie got quiet, and out comes like my loudest laugh, and I'm just like, all right, that was embarrassing. We've all been there, right?
What else did you like, though? You laughed at the Weasel.
I laughed at the Weasel. Gave me a good laugh. I didn't know what I was looking at or what was going on.
And that this movie is very random. Like
it is.
That's the way I'd word it. It's very random. It's chaotic. There's a lot of stuff coming at you, and that's almost that's going to be in things I don't like actually. A lot's being thrown at you in this movie,
It is a lot. It moves very fast.
And to me, some of the comedy really hit and made me laugh, and then probably equally half of the comedy did not make me laugh and just kind of fell flat for me.
Like you were gonna laugh, but then you're like, ooh.
Yeah, you're like, oh.
Kind of a lot of those moments for me.
Yeah. So anything else besides? Did you just like the weasel? What else did you like?
I can't fully say that I liked.
It made you laugh.
The weasel, but he did give me a good. I mean, or it might be a she. I don't know.
Okay, but what else? Laugh. What else did you like?
I did enjoy the Harley Quinn scene. I thought parts of this. So just generally speaking, I thought parts of this movie were fun, and then parts of it really, really dragged on, and then parts of it were kind of gross to me.
Yes. Okay. So I guess that's all you're gonna.
So that's all I have to say about that.
And that's all I have to say about that. So now we'll move into what we did not like, and what I did not like. Well. Let's see, where do I want to start? This is a type movie that it's kind of a taste issue. Like, do you like gore? Do you like
it's valid, yeah.
Very, very at times dark, attempting to be comedy. That type of thing. And for me, that's where it falls flat for me a lot of the times is it felt like at a point in this movie, he was just going for shock value, like throughout the whole movie.
Like too many times.
Yeah.
Like you get sometimes like maybe pick a couple instead of just like throughout the entirety of the movie, just constantly coming at you.
Yes, because that's what makes it shock value. Yeah. But
within a 2-hour movie, it's amazing how fast you're like, oh, I bet that's going to turn nasty in a second. I bet I'm going to see some guts there.
Yeah, because that was the thing. It was no longer shocking. You were just anticipating it because you're like, okay, we're just going to, a shark's going to rip someone in half. I mean, it just kind of got to that point.
And there will be guts.
Yeah, and there were genuinely things like that were unsettling at times. Yes. Like the opening scene with Michael Rooker's character killing a bird, and it was just kind of like, okay, it just kind of felt like, why did we need that?
And I get maybe the intention behind that was to show kind of his frame of mind of just how much he just doesn't, it was just something to do. Like he's a bad dude.
But I think it was just a strange choice.
But for the viewer, it's not fun to watch. Though.
No, because audiences hate animal cruelty, like across the board. That's just kind of agreed on.
Yeah.
But then too, I just feel like this movie, the way I felt, there was a point. Now I did enjoy them all going back, but up until that point, I felt like this movie just began to drag. It got long feeling, and the reason I think because it's only 2 hours and 12 minutes. Which we're used to movies that length at this point, but
longer.
I think because it's just like nonstop. It's like it starts at gear 4 and there's no real time to breathe. It's like your brain doesn't even have time to fully process all the craziness that is being thrown at your brain.
And it's like craziness on like several different levels.
Yes, in different ways.
It's like a lot to take in.
It is. It is so much to take in to where I use this word, I think describing it on the way home, it was like tiresome by a point in it. It was like, okay, I need a break.
Now.
Like I need this to be finished. My brain can't handle any more craziness at this point.
I don't want to see one more head.
Yeah, and I know for some people, I was speaking to a friend that it really worked for them. But again, some of the comedy just didn't work for me. Like,
and don't get me wrong, there were points throughout I don't even remember them now. That's the movie to me at this point. But like, there were points like I was genuinely cracked up, or like I really got a good chuckle out of certain things in that movie.
Yeah, I did too. Like I said, there were parts I was. Like that opening scene on the beach, there were parts that genuinely really cracked me up about
in the midst of this like chaos that you're like, what am I taking in? You know, it still made me laugh. But not all of it worked.
Yeah, and then some of it too was just downright gross. I would use that word, and I'm not a huge fan of just gross. And then I will say,
once again, the word is unsettling for me throughout this movie.
And I will say this: James Gunn, like his two Guardians of the Galaxy movies, have fantastic soundtracks that run throughout the movies. I actually was a little disappointed with the soundtrack.
I thought it had been beefed up a little bit.
The first one was definitely better.
Yeah.
This one did not have an
I think that's part
outstanding
of what
soundtrack.
made the first one fun.
Yes.
You know, yeah.
Definitely. And then I will say this, and of course we've been, and I told you up front, full spoilers. I did not like at all that they killed Joel Kinnaman. Yeah, his character of Rick Flag.
I didn't like that either.
And I'll tell you why.
He's like one of the only likable ones.
I'll tell you why I didn't like that decision. You have a movie of not even anti-heroes, villains. I guess they've kind of made Harley into an anti-villain. But the rest of them are just, they've made her into an anti-hero. The rest of these are just kind of straight villains, even though, again, they do have a heroic moment towards the end. But so you have this one person who's actually a good person, who's actually a hero. And in fact, he dies in a heroic way, you could say. But I didn't like the decision to kill him. I just wasn't expecting that. And I know it's the Suicide Squad. I know people die, but there were plenty of people that already died. I didn't personally like that decision.
I think the biggest, it just felt unnecessary.
It did feel unnecessary.
So he's like a really good character, and it's just like, oh, it's not that it's super casual, but it's like he's just gonna die. Like,
because to me, he should have been the anchor. If you were going to do a third Suicide Squad, he's an anchor throughout the three, him and Harley. Right. You could have made the two of them the anchor of these movies. And so I wasn't a big fan of that decision. There were things with Polka Dot Man that were humorous, and things that
grossed me out again.
That grossed me out, and I feel like there was a moment.
No offense to the Polka Dot people community.
I feel like there was a point he went to Norman Bates, and it was a little gross. There were just different things I just didn't care for about this movie, and again, there were things I really liked,
and then it's just like, so then he finally feels good about himself, I guess, and then it's like.
Yeah,
like, and that's how this movie works.
Yeah, it is, and your brain barely has time to process different things in the movie. But yeah, that's kind of what I did not like. So I'll give you my rating for this movie. And of course, we rate out of 5 hoots, 5 being the best. And I will give this movie, I'll give it 2 hoots at this point. I mean, maybe if I watched it again, maybe if I was just in a different mood, I would enjoy it more. But we watched it last night, and again, with about 30 minutes left to go, I was genuinely just wanting to leave the theater. And not even like because it was getting tiresome to me at this point. It was like, can this end? Like, can we wrap it up, guys? That's kind of how it felt. So I give it 2 stars. Natalie, or 2 hoots.
I'll be generous and give it 2.5 just for the quality of laugh.
And again, there are parts, as I said in my likes, that I genuinely cracked up watching this movie.
For the weasel alone.
And there were some amazing visuals at different times. Some of the shots were beautiful, and I enjoyed some of the bright colors actually in this movie that were throughout it, or the brightness of this movie in contrast to the first one, which was very dark.
Right.
But overall, it wasn't, again, it comes back to taste. And many of you really like this movie. That's great for you. It just wasn't my cup of tea. That's just the bottom line.
And I think we all have our things probably like in different ways for different reasons that maybe we don't really as a viewer want to partake of. Like for me, I noticed like I probably have other areas I should be more careful what I watch, but maybe they don't bother me as much as like just gross type of violence,
like brutality that's gross.
It's like my soul doesn't want to see that, so just know I have that bias watching a movie like this.
Yeah, but with that being said, I enjoy. But
I can enjoy some movies with a lot of violence.
Yeah,
so, I mean, don't think I'm like I never appreciate
what I was
movies.
about to say. Is with that being said, I can really enjoy Kill Bill Volume 1 and 2, which is very gruesome and has a lot of blood, but it's a well-written story.
That's true. I haven't seen those in forever. And I mean, I liked Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, which had some.
Towards the end. But anyway, so that's my thing. If you guys enjoyed it, many of you have. That's awesome. It's awesome to enjoy things when you spend your time watching it. Again, it just wasn't really my cup of tea as far as comic book movies. I
dare say I liked the first one better.
I walked away actually enjoying the first one better is what I can say. There's again, there's some really fun scenes,
And I know that I'm not a comic connoisseur. Feel free to roast me in the comments. It's fine.
yeah, well, but yeah, that's kind of our thoughts. So what do you guys think of the Suicide Squad? Are you some of the or did you really enjoy it? Were you okay with it, or thought it was not the best? Share your thoughts below. Be kind in the comment section, but share
Yeah.
your thoughts below.
Remember, guys, it's just a movie. We can all have different opinions. Be respectful of each other.
Yes, it is just a movie. But anyways, that is it for this episode, this show of Force of Light Entertainment. And as always, ladies and gentlemen, remember to be a force of light. All right, bye guys.
Bye.